If you have 2 points of data, one is here, and this is giving you an average number. And on the top side, this is giving you an average number like this. When they cross, this is just showing you like a trend line. That's all this is a trend line, and that's all this is a trend line on the larger, because this is showing you the highest point. So for example, 25 moving average is calculated like this. It is showing you the highest point over larger spans. And then the 7-day moving average is calculated from here to here. So if this is showing you this, and this is showing you the price of this, and they are both falling numbers, right? You are going to see that when this top is crossed like that, like when these points connect. So when this point connects to this point here, it is showing you over a rounding of data something like this. It is showing you like a moving average cross like that, and then this one is going to cross over top of that one, which is showing you the cupping like that. So when that happens, all you're seeing is this trend break right there, right? That's what you're seeing is this point here to that swing wick there, breaking right here, but being reflected 4 to 5 candles in the future, because that's how moving averages are read, right? It's data sampled from the past. So when you are data sampling off of points of 25, 99, and then 99 is showing you this larger sample of data from here. If this is 25, right? If this is, oh, that's probably about the worst two I've ever written. If that's 25 and this is 99, right? If this is 99 and this is 7, right? When these are crossing, this is just reading the highest point from 99 to the next highest point. So when this point right here, across this point right here, it's showing you that you have crossed over, so that the middle price point has crossed over the larger price point, which means this candle here has crossed over this candle here. Well, what is that when this lower candle crosses over the top candle in this moment? It's now you see why calculating moving averages, it's just showing you a trend break. That's all it's showing you, because it's just the way data is sampled over time, right? Like it is specifically just showing you a trend break. Well, it's not specifically showing you a trend break, but that's the effect of it, right? It's the same thing when this attacks this, right? It's the sample data that gives you the highest point to the highest point. So where this is A and this is A, right? When those are both A, the highest point to the highest point over a course of 25 days, and when the lowest point of 7 and 7 crosses over the, we'll call this B, right? When B crosses over A, all you're seeing is this candle crossing over this candle, which means in a lower time sense, in this moment of 7 candles here, it means the price has come up high enough to cross over A, and A is this candle here to this candle here, and it's constantly updating. So then 25 days would be here to here, but that's why they're rounded. Right? That's why they have rounds and curves to them, because it's adjusting to the next highest. So this would have been the first point, this would have been the next point, this would have been the next point, and every day, and so forth and so forth. And that's why moving averages, when you cross over moving averages, it's just showing you a trend break from the past, because all it's doing is showing you either this trend break or this trend break or whatever, and the sample of 7 candles in here is going to cross over that highest point, right? You're going to have a higher average price over the course of 7 days, but it takes time for that to happen, because when this break happens here, you need that data from the future to reflect it in the past. Therefore, all you're seeing is a trend break in the past. When you look at a moving average cross, all you've seen is a trend break. That's all you've seen. It's not specifically mapping a trend, but the effect of rounding data will effectively show you where the trends are. That's why I said at the start, if you could take away all the radial points on a chart, on a moving average, like if you could take away all these radial points, and you can even see it. Look, here's a trend break right here, right? The trend break is right there. That's why price moves up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles later, you have the cross. But that's probably rejecting this larger trend right here, right? This larger trend like that, that's probably rejecting that. As to where this is the local that's broken, move goes up, average is about to cross, it's rejecting the global, right? So there, when you get good at this, you can scan markets like you wouldn't believe. You turn yourself into a bit of a machine. You can just, like I went through A's and B's in about 2 minutes flat. So it's just showing you the rounding of data. So if you could take out all the radial points, like all these curves in it, and just make these straight lines, you would always just see trend lines. You wouldn't see the trend line in the moment, but you would see where they break, because that's all these are showing you, is just trend lines. Waves, let's go waves. Where did waves have a big move down here? Global level, crosses a global level. Look at the size of the move. This wasn't because it crossed an MA, right? The MA cross didn't happen until here. You wouldn't have saw that in the moment. You would have been here, and you would have saw this swing here. That shows you this wick here, probably. I'm assuming that's what it is. Like, you could see the wick right there, and you see the test in here. You would have seen that if this is testing a legacy level without having to move back in the charts. You would have seen this is testing a legacy level. This is why sometimes when coins break over these levels here, they have this insane reaction like this, because what you did actually is you tested a legacy level back here, this swing high to this swing high. So you're most likely testing this. Like, we can actually cross check that. What date is this? 9/9 and 9/12/2018. Okay. I'm assuming that's right here, right? No, it was 9. 9 is September. See, it's a legacy level. That's why it broke so much. You can get good at analyzing MAs. You don't even need to chart. Yeah, broke a legacy level. That same thing I always talk about. Break above it, back test it, and move. Right? And you can see the MA is showing you the trend line. Like, the MA is literally showing you the uptrend. Like, look how close the uptrend. Oh, okay, just actually draw the real uptrend. That there to the start of the move right here, right? Look at how close the MA is to the uptrend. But look at where, if you were to turn on this, look at where you crossed over some of these bigger MAs back here, right? Crossing this is just showing you the loss of the uptrend locally, right? Like, these crosses are just showing you this. That would be the start of the move there. So you'd have that swing to that swing right here, right? Which would have been there fractally, right? And then you would have had this one even back further, which would have been this right here. And then you break that, and then it shows your loss of the MA there. So people are dumping this MA, but they didn't see that, this was hitting, stopping before an inverse level. Even did hit the inverse level, lost trend, even fine before it moves out. You can adjust this and look through their different time frames. Go to a 4 hour, for example. Oh boy, we looked at a very small part of the move, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yikes, I didn't realize it moved up that much. Well, my God. Right? You can see the loss of it right here, right? Where's the larger MA? You can see the loss of the trend right here. And you can see the MA loss happens here. You could see the 25 crossing below it because you're losing the larger trend. And this is just showing you the loss of the local. Right there. And then even there, you'd have another local right here in the move, which is showing you the backgrounding of that trend as well. So when you can dissect trend moving averages, like, all you're doing is looking at trends. This is all you're doing. You're just looking at trends that happened in the past. So when you know that they happened in the past, when you see them about to break in the future, like, this is a perfect example on waves here. But yeah, anyways, the moving average cross, like, you can see it happening, right? You see it, the moving average cross, this big thing right here. All you're seeing is a trend breaks from the past, right? Because this actually doesn't happen until this moment here, which is way too late. Like, you're already up here in price, right? Go back to this where you're seeing, okay, we're about to test a legacy trend. Like, you should probably be buying because you're about to test a legacy trend. Where was it? Oh, we went too far actually. Daily, where are we? We saw swing to swing. You had actually tried to test this legacy trend a couple times, like right there. Right there. But how else would I know there's a big legacy trend there that's being tested, right? Like you can quickly see it based on the MAs. So you don't even need to really. And then you look at this and you're like, oh, there's a huge trend being tested, and then you break over it. It's like, yeah, you're gonna have a huge move here, and then you do. And even that's buying late because you bought a legacy trend break when it started on a local level, which onset through a global, which then onset to a legacy level. But that's why moving averages, like you can use them to scan the markets very quickly, very quickly. We'll just go to Alpha. It's right here on our screen. Nobody will be able to go into a chart, and I'm just going to drag it to a random spot quickly. Nobody will be able to go into a chart and say, oh, what can I see on MAs based on this? Like for me, I know this is a legacy trend because I can see the test right here, which I know this is going to be the future trend in the future. So based on the sharpness, this could either be here, right? It could be very sharp like this right here, and it could be testing just trend break right here, which is showing it to you right here, or it could be pulling out right here, which I know we're going to test the trend. So now I know I need to go and work with this thing to see what it's doing, and then as it's moving forward in the future here. I can see right now that this connecting to here, probably sometime out in the next 4 or 5 days here, is going to try to do something. See? So it did try to do something off that trend. But what is that and what does that trend mean? I don't know. But this is a call to action to say, chart me. I need to know, chart me. Now I'm looking at this and saying, okay, this is looking like it was a trend test. So now I know trend is here, right? So if trend is there, we have just tested outside of a local trend and probably started to push this global. So this is another thing where I'm like, okay, looks like a good buy opportunity right now in Alpha. And there it starts to move up again, right? So I just picked a random coin and I'm just moving through the chart, calling it out as I see it based on MAs, which are secretly just trends, right? So now I know that larger trend is now going to test some global event up here. So now I know that this is a long-term trend that was tested here. So now just from this swing here, and based on the way the MAs look, I can see that we're trying to test out a larger trend here, right? Which is exactly what we're trying to do again here. Now, to dissect and move further takes charting, right? You have to kind of see where this is going to go, right? But this is really getting to that point where now we're holding a hold level. We've tested trend, we've tested trend, we've tested trend. We're about to pop. This is like a really great way to alternatively use them. And now you can tell there's your legacy trend right there. That point to that point, that's your legacy trend. And there's a legacy trend break right there, right? So that's the larger move. So this is really like an alternative way to use MA. So there's not a lot of deep set calculation rather than just a lot of practice with MAs. And even this, I'm not training based on these. I'm using this to scan the markets very quickly. And just by scanning the MAs and understanding how they work, you can quickly scan the markets to see what makes sense and what doesn't. Use them as exploitive nature to target people who aren't using who are using them to make moves, right? People see these MA crosses about to happen, and then the move has already happened before the MA crosses. And if you were here in the, how quick this thing probably happened, how quick this move probably happened. But you can literally see the global trend right here, right? You can see the global trend right there. Like, try to draw it a bit straighter here. You can see the global trend right there, and that legacy trend is coming like this off of this yikes, something like, I'm not sure where that last candle swing is, but we know there's a legacy trend being tested like that. So that, and then this would have been your local, right? Like this to this right here. So you would have been that same moment. You know how we looked at Oaks? Local, like local into global, testing a legacy, holding a higher hold level, and then the people who saw it were like, oh, trend's about to break, let's buy. Trend's about to break. You know how quick this happens? This probably happened in like 15 minutes. Maybe not 15, but a good part of this, like a good 25% chunk of this entire candle probably happened very quick. But you can see why the moving averages show you, like, okay, we can see there's a larger break happening here, global, local, legacy. And this is like a very nice, clean way to scan the markets and just be like, oh, what's happening? But had you waited for the MA cross to happen, you would have already been like, oh, you wouldn't have gotten into the trade here. You would have already been too late, as to where you could have seen the local breaking into the global, igniting the move, which it did right there. And it back tested the valley to break the move. And then it probably held this whole level right here, came whatever it comes up to here, and whatever it holds in here, it's pretty hard to, see for certain what it holds in here, but whatever it holds in here. And then, the moving average still doesn't even cross. The moving average actually doesn't cross until the move is over. So yeah, it's one of those things that if you see trends properly, again, going back to the material earlier from today, it's a very, very nice way to move through the markets very smoothly, and to just quickly go through here and just be like, yeah, this looks good, this doesn't look good, this looks good, this doesn't, this doesn't, this doesn't. And then, you can hit off 40 coins in like 45 minutes. Like you could do like a coin a minute. You could actually do it much better. You probably do a coin every 20 seconds. When you get good at MA scanning and seeing where trends are, because your eye just snaps to certain things, right? And then you can scan MAs really quickly to see what's testing globals, locals, legacies, what's potentially testing a legacy. Again, this right here, like I already know this swing wick is testing a legacy. So I already know. Now I just have to go here. Okay, there's a legacy there. There it is here. It's about half the size, which means the next the half of the size of this candle is going to be where the legacy break is.
Hey everyone, how's it going? As you know, I'm now giving out some of this content for free that I was otherwise charging for the past little while. Yeah, drop a donation, subscribe to the channel, join Patreon. You'll get access to Discord. Great way. Lots of top level traders in there, people who are doing this for a career every single day. So go to Patreon, join a tier, get access to Discord. Go on Reddit, talk about future of trading, talk about the science of trading, talk about cotton candy, socials, everything you can. Let's help this thing grow. It's the way you guys can thank me for giving out this content for free that I was otherwise charging money for. So I'll leave a Bitcoin address on the screen. I'll leave the Patreon address on the screen. Just do something to help out. Okay, thanks guys. Take care.